The long road that Eli Nacht has made from a wheelchair to the Knesset and other parliaments around the world cannot be ignored. Not only did he manage to influence the lives of many in the state of Israel at a relatively young age, but he was able to do so despite almost dying at the age of 17. For a year, he could not walk or even stand, but today he is thankful to be able to work and does not stop for a moment. Among his many positions, Eli served in the Knesset's Central Elections Committee. He was also an advisor to the Deputy Speaker of the Knesset and the Chief of Staff in the Kulanu Party during the last elections. Today, he serves as Vice President of the Chess Federation and Director of the Parliamentary Caucus for Empowering Israel. Eli meets and hosts dozens of official delegations and investors every year in Israel, and also handles the invitations when MKs and Israeli ministers attend conferences and parliaments around the world. Eli's work in the evangelical Christian world is well known to all politicians in Jerusalem, and it would not be an exaggeration to say that one of the reasons for the large number of friends that Israel has in the world is because of Eli.
Amen. Well, it's my honor and my pleasure to introduce my friend, Dr. Eli Nacht.
Thank you, Ari. Okay, I prepared some papers. I don't know. I actually was not prepared to come here today. I have elections that I'm running for office back in Israel, and I was, And I was looking actually for a very good excuse of skipping this event, but Joel put me in a very uncomfortable position. So here we are. Anyway, okay. So he told me what you are most interested about is United States, Israel, Bibi, Trump. So since I'm paid by hour, let's make it long, okay? So there how it works, okay? So let's start with this, that Obama, a person that probably most of you very like, he's not exactly anti-Semitic or anti-Israeli, okay? The biggest enemy of Obama is probably Barack Obama, and this is his problem. And Obama did a couple good things towards Israel, and it's very important to understand what Obama did before I'm actually coming to speak about Donald Trump and the relationship with Benjamin Netanyahu. Obama actually provided a lot of help, a lot of finance help on the security and the intelligence to Israel. Obama signed a contract, an agreement with Israel, giving Israel $38 billion during the next 10 years, which is an enormous sum of money, the biggest sum of money ever Israel get, in help from the United States. Barack Obama also actually issues the first and the only veto in the United Nations Security Council on a resolution that was supposed to condemn Israel building in the settlements. And we're very thankful to him for this. Obama actually opposes the efforts of Palestinians to go and join to the International Criminal Court. And it would be a big disaster if they would actually join this court, and he prevent this. And once again, thank to him. The problem with Obama starts probably in the moment that he cannot make any decision, and when he does make a decision, he does not follow or does not act upon this decision. And this is a very big problem. We can just remind ourselves the situation in August 2012 when Obama set a red line. And by the way, I'm not reading. It's supposed for you to know. I was actually learning all the text by heart, so I want to appreciate this. Okay. I'm just kidding. But he actually set a red line for Bashar al-Assad and Syria regime, saying that if they will use a chemical weapon, they will bear enormous consequences on it. They did use a chemical weapon. Bashar al-Assad and the government actually admitted that they possess a chemical weapon. And what did Barack Obama did? Nothing. It's important to understand the mentality of the Arab world and the Arabs in the Middle East. When they see somebody who is weak and somebody who cannot deliver their promises and not strong enough, they don't consider him as a leader. They don't follow him, and they do whatever they want. If we can compare the Middle East to something, it will be probably the Middle East could be compared to the Wild West. And where the Middle East has no sheriff around, chaos is going on. And this is something that Barack Obama did not understood. We can see, this was, okay. I got this, never mind. We can see the kind of a chaos, okay, this is a different thing, but okay. But thank you for, how does it work? Okay. I think that I don't turn the TV, I turn on you, actually, when I'm pressing the button. Okay. Before going there, I will show you. This is what the Middle East looks like after Barack Obama administration. In Libya, in Yemen, in Egypt, in Syria, in Lebanon, and many other countries. Just because of his lack of ability to make a decision. Donald Trump is a little bit different guy. A little bit. So he knows how to make a decision, and he's not exactly a diplomat, as you probably know. Henry Kissinger, a former Secretary of State, Henry Kissinger, said once that America does not have any enemy, permanent enemy, or a friend. America has only interest. You remember this? So I cannot blame, or no one of us can blame, Donald Trump for not understanding in American interest. But regarding American friends or enemies, Donald Trump understands very good. In Donald Trump's world, or in his mind, everything is very black and white, good and evil, friends and enemies, with me or against me. It's very simple, we can see it. And I can tell you even more than that, that if you'll figure out what's going on in our world and look at the policies in the countries, we can see that even a 6-year-old boy can understand the difference between good and evil. Okay? So I want you to, let's make some sort of a training with you, if it's possible, to see if we all of us understand what is the difference between good and evil. Okay? So let's say Christians being persecuted and killed because of their faith. Is it good or evil? Okay, let's say Jews being killed just because of their Jews. Let's say that women being prevented from their basic human rights. Is it good or evil? Let's say people bombing themselves and innocent civilians because they want to create an Islamic jihad and go back to the 17th century and live under Sharia law. Is it good or evil? Interesting, huh? And let's say you have a country that is promoting science, knowledge, education, defending basic human rights, and the only democracy in the Middle East. Is it good or evil? Good. So you see, it's actually very simple to understand where is good and where is evil. And this is something that Donald Trump understands very well. He understands it very well not because he understands it very well, but he understands it very well because the voters of Donald Trump and his electoral base understand it very well. And this is the evangelical Christians, as all of you probably know. And since the evangelical Christians are supporting Donald Trump and pushing him towards some decisions, and we can make three main decisions, and maybe we'll discuss about them a little bit later, but the three main decisions that happened actually during the last year that had enormous influence and impact on Israel was about moving the U.S. Embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. Woo! Yeah. And you know, everybody said during all these years and during all different presidents of the United States who are afraid of this move said that it will be a world war, there will be a catastrophe, the Arab will, I don't know what they were supposed to do, but you know, go and kill and protest and demonstrate and, I don't know, nuclear explode themselves or whatever it is. Nothing happened. Nothing happened. You know what did say Donald Trump? They said, they will protest, they will demonstrate, but they will get used to it. And this is exactly kind of saying which reminds me or tells me about a person who actually understands very well the Middle East. Okay? If you know what you're going, and you're going there not looking beside or behind you, and you're doing what you're doing, and you are ready to bear the consequences with it, you're strong enough, everybody else will follow. And who followed? Let's see, who followed? So, Paraguay, yeah? Paraguay removed, once again removed. Okay, it's removed their embassy from Tel Aviv and moved it to Jerusalem. Woo! Guatemala did the same thing. They moved their embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. Honduras, they said they are willing and going to move their embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. Romania, they said that they're checking right now and going to make a new legislation in order to move their embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. Czech Republic, saying that they are going to move their embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. As you see, when you're strong, everybody follows you. And that's exactly what happens when there is a strong leader. The problem that the absence of strong leader in the Middle East, and Barack Obama made a lot of house and also allowed, for example, to Vladimir Putin, whatever your opinion about him is, to enter into this area, into this region in the Middle East and become one of the new bosses in this region because there was lack of leadership. And this is something right now that is inevitable, and Israel itself need to consider the interest of Russia and need to consider and understand what's going on between the interest of Russia towards the Israel and the Arab world and act accordingly. Because Russia right now and Russian soldiers are sitting in the north border of Israel. And when we want to attack or somehow to defend ourselves or prevent an ammunition or any other terror act that's going on, we need to first of all to call to the Russians and ask, maybe not their permission, but at least inform them about what we are going to do because they're controlling the airspace there. And this is the situation that caused, once again, by the previous president of, unfortunately, United States. The second thing that actually was done during the last year, and everybody said, except Benjamin Netanyahu in Israel, that this is a good thing that we're supposed to do, is to withdraw from the nuclear deal with Iran. All the world said it's better to have any deal than no deal at all. Israel said, this kind of deal we do not need. It's better not to have any deal and put the Iranians on their knees, put more sanctions, and let them, squirrel on the floor until they will get to the negotiation table with the conditions we want. Donald Trump listened to Benjamin Netanyahu. He withdrew from this agreement. And I don't know if you looked at your TV, Fox News, CBN. We had yesterday here David Brody here. CNN, I don't know. Fox News, I don't know what other networks there are. CBN, okay, never mind. Any other networks, do you look at them? Do you watch what's going on in the streets of Iran right now? Do you see the protests? Do you see Iranians going to the street protesting against the regime, against the Khamenei in Tehran, carrying signs, leave Syria alone. Think of us. This is something that happens for the first time. They're anticipating the sanctions that are going to hit on August on Iran, the US sanctions, and their real, their currency, if in the end of 2017, $1 could buy 42,000 reals, today, $1 can buy over 90,000 reals. it means less dinner for every regular family in Iran. We are not speaking about the regime, we are speaking about people. People who right now being captive as hostages of this regime. And this is a big problem. Women in Iran, protesting, and for the first time removing their hijab publicly. The regime had no other way but allow women, listen to this. This is like the biggest breakthrough in the history of Iran. For the first time, the women were allowed to watch the soccer games, the World Cup, for the first time. What else happened? I know my time is up, by the way. I don't care. I am, as a politician, I know the moment you actually get the mic and you get on the stage, they cannot remove you. So, anyway, what else happened? So, you know all the UN resolutions against Israel that going on all the time? Okay? So Donald Trump said to himself, very interesting, UNESCO is supposed to be the agency for cultural, agricultural, and historical and other bullshit, something, made a resolution saying that Israel and Jerusalem has no historical or legal right over the holy sites. Amazing. What would do Barack Obama? Nothing. What did Donald Trump? He said, no problem, I'm quitting UNESCO. He quit UNESCO. Israel quit UNESCO. Israel quit UNESCO also. And Donald Trump saved another $80 million for your taxes. Donald Trump asked nicely from Mahmoud Abbas and Benjamin Netanyahu to sit and to negotiate about the peace agreement. Mahmoud Abbas said he's not willing to do this in this kind of condition, and he does not like Donald Trump, and he doesn't like Benjamin Netanyahu, and everything is very bad, and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. Nice. What did Donald Trump do in this case? He go to the UNRWA. You know what is the UNRWA institution? It's an agency that is dealing with Palestinian refugees, which is a crazy thing because there is another agency of the UN dealing with all refugees around the world. It's called United Nations High Commission Refugee Agency. It's dealing with Darfur refugees, with Sudan refugees, with Syria refugees, Burma refugees, with everybody, except the Palestinian. The Palestinian refugees has their own set of rules, has their own agency, has their own funds, and has their own everything. So if you're a Palestinian refugee and you acquire a citizenship already in a different country, and you require a housing, okay, so you are no longer supposed to be a refugee. But not if you're a Palestinian. If you're a Palestinian refugee, even your children are becoming a refugee. Even your grandchildren becoming also Palestinian refugees, just because this is the rules. And in this case, from a few 100,000 of Palestinian refugees in 48, today we have over 5 million of Palestinian so-called refugees that right now demand to go home to Israel. You understand the problem with this? US moved the embassy from, as we told, from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. The United Nations General Assembly made a resolution condemning United States of recognizing Jerusalem as their capital and for moving the embassy. What did Donald Trump do in this case? He cut $285 million of funding to UN. Of your money. Your money. This is a small way to show you how actually Israel saves you a lot of money. You understand? We've just been saving about $1 billion of your tax money. You can go shopping or whatever you want. What I'm actually trying to say, and I will be finishing because I feel somebody is looking at me. Okay? Right now, any decision that is made by Donald Trump has a direct influence on Israel, and this decision has backwards the direct influence over United States. Any decision political that made by the Donald Trump has the direct decision over Benjamin Netanyahu and his popularity in Israel. Donald Trump is the guarantee for the right-wing parties in Israel to continue to succeed in the parliament and in the government. Donald Trump is the guarantee right now for keeping the full land of Israel undivided. And there is a big red screen right now. You cannot see it, but it's really threatening. So I'm actually, what I'm trying to say that our destiny, the US destiny, the Israel destiny, the Christian destiny, and the Jewish destiny are all combined together. And we hope that we will be able to see clearly where is the good and where is the evil. Because we have the common values and we share the same values for Judah, Christian, Israeli, United States, understanding about the future of our people. Thank you.